Hello, and thanks for joining Mindful Mobility for your upper body. So we're going to find a lot of shoulder flexibility and mobility here, and also a little bit of that upper torso. So let's get started in child's pose first. And we're going to bring the big toes together, knees wide, and then just reach those arms out in front of you, extended child's pose. First, just taking a few breaths, connecting to the body, noticing where you feel some tension. And also just connecting with the breath. Notice as you draw in, feel the belly release or belly fill. Feel the rib cage fill. Notice what that does to the stretch or sensation. Let's walk both hands over towards the left. So what I want you to think about is the right side body. So if you walk your right fingertips forward a little bit more forward into the left, and make sure we keep our right hip down and back, that's when we're going to start to feel the right side body. Just to get a little different angle, if you bring the knees a little closer in and hips a little higher, and then continue to reach the right fingertips forward into the left, and try to drop the right hip back into the right. You feel that length. Big breath in, relax out. Walk both hands over towards the right this time, but back in that first position. A little lower, hips to the heels. And walk the left fingertips way over to the right and forward. A couple breaths in this low position. And then back up, bring the knees a little bit more in and walk a little further out. Bringing the hands back to center, we'll find our puppy pose or extended child's pose. So it might look similar to the first posture you started with today, but hips might be a little bit higher. We might try to drop the chest towards the ground a little bit more. Maybe look up at the fingertips. Slowly slide the hands back, coming over those with the shoulders. We're just going to flow through our cat-cow. So dropping the belly in your inhale. Exhale, round up cat. Feeling the difference as you feel when you let the head drop side to side. Follow the breath. Maybe one more time each. And find your neutral spine, drawing a straight line from the top of your head to your tailbone. You'll have your natural curves in your spine, but we want to think stability. I want you to start to find a little twist. So sometimes we like to do wider knees, toes together. A little twist if you take your right hand high. Maybe your hips drop over. And then place that right hand back down, lift your left hand high. Let your hips kind of drop to the left. I want you to do the same thing, but with your elbow leading. So right hand behind your head. I want you to tap your elbow, right elbow down to your left forearm, and then lift high. 2 more times, down and open. Try to keep hips a little bit more stable than the first twist. And we'll switch. Right hand down, left hand behind the head. Again, try to stabilize the hips instead of letting them shift. Drop elbow to forearm and open. Elbow to forearm and open. Good. Our last twist, we're going to do a little deeper. So taking that right hand high, again, you can shift the hips over towards the right. And I want you to thread the needle. So let that right hand palm lead up. Lay down on the shoulder. That left hand can either support right in front of the gaze or extend out. Grabbing the right hand. Now if your hips did shift towards the left now, I want you to try to balance them out. Pull them slightly to the right. Bringing the left hand back by the gaze. Use that push-up motion to lift yourself up nice and strong. Let's take that left hand high, letting the hips shift a little bit, and then slide that palm facing up towards the right. Again, right hand can be in front of the gaze, maybe on the left hand. Again, your hips might have went to the right now, so I want you to try to balance them out. Feel that release through the spine. Taking that right hand back to the gaze, help yourself back up nice and tall. We're actually going to come onto into a seated position. With your seated position, I want you to bring your knees lifted just a little bit and hands back behind you, finding a chest expansion. So this first one, I want fingertips pointing back. Inhale, lift the chest. Think how your arms, your shoulders are rotated out, lifting that chest. And then I want you to find a comfortable position for the legs. For some of us, that might just mean cross legs, some might mean straight legs, whatever feels best to you. Now we're gonna go into a wrap for your upper back. So I want you to take your right arm across your chest, kind of wrap arm under with your left hand. Make sure that right shoulder stays down. Sometimes it wants to kind of come up into the neck. I want you to think draw using these lower shoulder blade muscles to pull that down. Hopefully feeling some stretch throughout the back of the shoulder, back of the shoulder blade. Then just a little variation. Let's turn the thumb down so palm faces forward. Good, release, reach both hands high again. Feet back out if you did across the legs. And this time I want your fingertips just facing out instead of back. Again, let's lift the chest. If you want a deeper stretch here, if you can get the chest lifted and core engaged, maybe you press into the feet and do a tabletop. One or two more breaths and then come on back down. Cross the legs, just however's comfortable, and now the left arm sweeps across. Remember, first one is palm facing back, so your thumb faces up. Keep that left shoulder down. So you have to engage some muscles to stretch some muscles. So you have to engage that bottom of the shoulder blade to make sure that stays around. And let's try that second variation where we turn the left thumb down. And last chest expansion. This time fingertips face you, so pointing forward. You might already, even in a straight up seated position, you feel that stretch to the forearms and hands, wrists. You can stay right there. We don't even have to fully lift the chest. If you can, start to straighten out the spine, straighten out the arms, and lift the chest. Again, if that feels good and you want to go a little deeper, release the feet, engage the core, and come up to that tabletop. Good. setting the hips back down if you did lift them. Everybody having their legs out straight. Inhale those hands high. And hands just drop right down by the sides. So that inhale high is hopefully lengthening the spine. What I want you to do is start hinging from the hips forward. That might not be very far for some of us, and that's fine. And then slowly start to reach more and more and more and more of the spine forward. You can drop the chin to the chest. Think the whole back side of the body. I want you to think about stacking your vertebrae. So stacking each joint one at a time. We're going to start at the bottom again and work our way up. So think about lower back. Really continue to round the upper. Chin to chest, slowly straightening one at a time. Good. Once we are straight, let's let the head drop side to side. Maybe a little kind of nodding the head motion. Make sure you do it equal. Last but not least, one last chest expansion. Hands find each other behind the back. Try to keep the palms connected and only as straight as your shoulders allow. So if you can straighten the arms, think lifting the chest and straightening the arms at the same time. Good. Release the hands and come into your closed eyes, hands onto your knees, maybe palms down or palms up. Take a moment here, give yourself a moment of stillness, focus on your breathing, the present moment. Find a little bit of positivity of your day, a little bit of gratitude for the life, the current situation you're in right now. Make that a daily practice. I want to thank you all so much for coming. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.